All right. It is Tuesday. Show Me the Money Club live Tuesdays, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. Myself and Sergio. Sergio, what's going on? How you doing today?
Doing great, buddy. How are you?
Oh, I'm fantastic. Welcome, everybody. We got a great show for you. We're going to change up our intro just a little bit. First, we are going to do our ad read in just a moment, and then we have Adam coming on, Adam Warner, who is the head of U.S. operations for InDrive. So this is a new company. Well, not a new company, but newer to the States that's coming in, rideshare company. They're all over the world in different areas. So they are breaking ground into the US in Miami. So we're going to be talking to Adam in just a few moments. But first, we want to thank today's sponsor, Mymo. So if you're looking to level up your financial game, let me introduce you to Mymo, your financial companion. Mymo is the mobile app designed for self-employed workers like you, and it's going to bring all your income sources together. So Uber, Lyft, other sources, DoorDash, whatever it might be, you can put it into one app and effortlessly track your earnings across all of your gigs. But that's not all. Mymo also helps you hit your financial goals by automatically tracking your progress, helping you stay motivated and earn more every step of the way. Mymo users who set a goal in app usually make up to 12% more than users who don't, which means you can get to your financial goals quicker. And when it comes to taxes, Mymo has you covered. You can get free tax estimates as you earn, so you always know what you owe, which will save you serious money on expensive accountant fees. And you can get your answers to important tax questions for free instantly with Mymo's built-in AI accountant. Make sure you check out the link in the description below and download the app. Not only that, it's a free app, so you can check it out and go from there. All right, Sergio.
All right. Yeah.
You ready? Oh,
I'm sorry.
what's up?
Go ahead.
No, what were you going to say?
No. Go ahead.
Okay, I was going to say, you're ready to bring on Adam Warner from InDrive?
Yes,
All right.
definitely.
Adam, welcome.
Thank you all. How are y'all doing today?
Hey, Adam, how are
Fantastic.
you? First of all, thank you for showing up. I know you're at the airport traveling. You know, I mean, we tried to set this up for the last couple of weeks and really much appreciated that you showed up. We're gonna try to do this fast and get you out of here, but
Sure.
you have you as much time as you want. Obviously we'll have some questions, from our viewers. If we do, then we'll just direct them to you via email or now. So, introduce yourself a little bit, what you did before, and about InDrive. Talk a little bit about the company in general.
Yeah, absolutely. So, hey, everybody, my name's Adam Warner. I'm currently running operations for InDrive and bringing this new rideshare model here to the United States. So we're excited to be here. Previous to coming here, I did work for Lyft for almost 5 years before. So I know your viewers out there have many questions, but have been in the rideshare space for quite a long time, and so looking forward to bringing something new and really taking what I've learned from my previous experiences to bring something new and exciting to the United States. So really excited.
Yeah. So how many countries is InDrive in at the moment?
Yeah. So currently, InDrive is the world's most downloaded, the second most downloaded rideshare app, and operates in more than 655 cities in 48 countries right now.
Wow. Okay. So, what made you guys decide specifically Miami and specifically now? I mean, look, we're a rideshare channel, obviously. We speak to thousands of drivers. Obviously there are some people who are happy doing what they're doing, but the trend over the last, as you know, from Lyft as well, the trend over the last decade for the drivers has not been their friend as far as earnings are concerned, right? So there is always this just thought that, well, what if somebody stepped up? What if somebody did that? And all the drivers say that, but to us, the important thing is, getting the drivers is easy. Getting the passengers, getting enough density to keep those drivers busy, like Uber and Lyft has done, is a really, really difficult thing to do. So, please talk a little bit about that, what you guys are doing when it comes to creating demand and obviously signing up drivers.
Yeah, like you said, I do think that getting drivers and getting somebody excited about a new earning potential opportunity, right? People in this space, we want to be able to provide as many opportunities for those drivers to make it happen and live the lives that they want to live. For us in Miami specifically, we are in all over the world, like we stated at the beginning. Some of our largest markets are Mexico, Colombia, Brazil, all through kind of our Latin American communities. And so with the diverse and beautiful population that currently resides in Miami, a lot of the drivers and passengers, like you're talking about that demand, have used us in countries all around the world. And so it's kind of like a really interesting connection to bring this to the marketplace through that experience of people who've used our product before. And so by that alone, we're kind of driving that word of mouth through the South Florida area to help us continue to grow and
Yeah.
learn about whether or not does this bidding process that we'll talk about, will it work in the United States? And
Yeah.
so we're learning a lot so far.
Yeah, I mean, we can actually tell you that I've had so much interest in emails, but a couple or three of our viewers who are in the chat at the moment that I see have already applied to drive for InDrive, and actually one of them just got finished with his background check. Look, we're all rideshare drivers. We complain about everything, okay?
Okay.
So they all go like, "Oh my God, this is taking so long. The background check." Blah, blah. I'm like, well, you have to get used to that. But I'm sure you're used to that from Lyft days, right? Because even when we make money, we complain. We don't make money, we complain. We just complain, okay? But so. How many drivers did you sign up so far in Miami? And are there any glitches as far as the app or the sign up process?
So what I'll tell you is, like, we kind of had like an individual goal of just having a few thousand drivers kind of at launch. We're definitely pushing over around 10,000 drivers right now in South Florida. So exceeding my expectations at this point in time. So I think the process is going smooth. We're still learning. There's a lot more rules and regulations when it comes to having a TNC license here in the United States. And so as we're kind of teaching this world brand, what does it take to be here in the United States? We're going through those processes. I am seeing the feedback from the drivers who are signing up, where the background check isn't taking too long. So we're definitely working with our support staff to listen, pay attention, try to course correct any of these opportunities as that feedback continues to go in. So I do appreciate it. Continue to provide that feedback to us. We want to hear from you. It's the only way that I'm going to be able to make this better.
Yeah. So you just mentioned TNC license. So let's get the legalities out of the way. Does InDrive have a TNC license? Obviously they have to. And the second sticking point that we need to talk about is, obviously you're at Lyft, so about period 1, period 2, period 3. The commercial insurance situation. I'm very involved with these companies, so I listen to their conference calls continuously when their earnings come out. And both companies are complaining that commercial insurance rates that they provide, especially in period 3, are going through the roof, right? So those two questions are going to be important, because also the passengers are used to having that protection, right? So TNC license and commercial insurance. Let's talk a couple of minutes about those issues.
Yeah, let's do it. Do we have our TNC license? Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
It's just part of the rules and regulations to get into the game and to make sure that we are a qualified competitor in this space. So it's very important. So yes to that. Also, with that TNC regulation and license, you have to have the insurance. I saw on your show just a couple days ago, you went through and talked about our insurance and how you kind of already described period 1, period 2, and period 3. So that's in place both for the driver and the passenger's safety. So
is it on period 2 and 3, or just period 3? What run us through that real quick.
It's covered from period 1, period 2, and period 3.
Okay. And do you know what the deductible is on these policies?
I have it for sure. You saw the right from the app. I can pull it up.
But, no, it's okay. I mean, we know Ubers and Lyft used to be less. Now they're 2,500. If it's something similar, I'm sure it's doable. So
It's similar.
you know, now that we covered the legalities, let's get to the fun part. Okay. So I'm in Miami, right? I'm like, last week I was in Denver actually. And you know, I used Uber and Lyft quite a bit. So I'm like, you know, to me, the important thing is as a passenger are two things, right? And how fast can you pick me up? And how much is it going to cost me? Because an Uber car or driver or a Lyft is going to do the same thing for me. Pick up point A, drop off point B safely, hopefully. Although one of the cars should not have been on the platform, but it's okay. So here's the deal. So I'm in Miami. I turn my app on as a passenger. How does it work? Walk us through that.
So the same interface from trying to go to point A to point B. So same kind of rules apply as you know our competitors there. The difference is the passenger will initiate that conversation by saying how much they are willing to pay for this ride from point A to point B. So let's just use Miami International Airport. We're going to South Beach, you know, I'm going to offer $20 for this ride. That goes out to all of the drivers within a certain radius. And so all the drivers are now seeing that Adam wants to go to South Beach. You got to pick him up at the airport. He's willing to do this ride for $20. And so from the driver, they can choose to accept and go into that conversation and go, you know what? Really, it's interesting to me, but you know, if it was $25, I would do it. Okay. And the driver can sit there and put $25. It comes back to me and it would say, all right, Sergio is willing to do this ride for $25. And then you can go back and forth if you choose. What's also interesting and what we have found is that since it's going out to all of the drivers, the passenger in this case is seeing all of the drivers who are willing to do the ride and what they're willing to pay. So I have 3 drivers that's willing to do it for 20. I have 1 that's willing to do it for 22, et cetera, et cetera. And you get to see the driver, what kind of car they're in, and how far away are they from my pickup point. So as a passenger, I get to choose. Am I choosing somebody in a Chevy Suburban? Am I choosing somebody that's 2 minutes away from me? And you kind of get to play around with that experience just a little bit. So we found that that's amazingly fun, having the freedom of choice to be able to, you know, choose your experience versus my previous experience of, you know, you hit the app and you're just matched with the driver. You know, you don't have any other choices. You don't have a choice of what the price is, et cetera. So it's completely built. This entire marketplace is completely built by the driver and the passenger in this case. So we are not involved with it at all. And that's what makes it completely and utterly unique, because at the end of the day, for the driver, I want you to be able to do your ride with the value that you really should be paid fairly for the work and service that you are providing. And so I think that that's really critical and super important for me.
Yeah, I mean, you know, let me just intercept here for a second. First of all, personally speaking, I think all rideshare drivers or gig workers are misclassified. That's my personal opinion. Okay, this seems to me really as close as you can get to an independent contractor reaction or initiation of an offer, you know, rebuttal of the offer, going back and forth, right? Because if I called a plumber to my house and I offered him a job for 300, you can say no, but I can do it for 350, and then we agree and we get it done, right? To me, that is kind of almost, I mean, true independent contractorship, and I think drivers will enjoy that, right? And if you price yourself out of the system, you're not going to get chips. It's all up to you. So there is no algorithm, there is no gamification, there is no gamification, there is no bells and whistles. You no, and you move on, and then it is what it is, right?
Beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, that's all. I think it's pretty cool. But here's the other thing that I'm trying to clarify for our audience and for whoever's going to watch it and listen on the podcast. Obviously, as you know from Lyft, there is Lyft Standard, Lyft Lux, and all these things, right? Do you have those broken down in the app? Like, if I wanted a black car, can I get a black car? Obviously, I have to pay more, or do I have a standard trip? Is there like different platforms within InDrive's app?
Yeah. So for right now, we have lots of testing to go. So right now for our Miami launch, we do have 2 vehicle classes that you can choose. And really, for me, I'm really thinking about, do you have a lot of people with you, and do you need a bigger car? And so instead of just kind of classifying everything out, luxury and all of the different classes that you can get with our competitors, we have a feature in there for, does a regular 4-seater work for you, or do you need something that's like a 6-seater? So right now, those are the 2 options that you can choose from. And as a driver, you get to choose your vehicle. You want to sit there and be on the platform and have the opportunity to sit there and kind of be in this marketplace. We welcome you for sure.
Okay.
Bring your luxury cars this way, if that's what you choose to do. Absolutely.
Yeah, you can price yourself accordingly, I guess, right?
Absolutely.
So
that's absolutely
more,
can.
Yeah, that's more freedom, actually. So a couple other questions. I'm hopeful that this is going to work out, because look, from what we see, and I've been a driver myself for the last 7.5 years, the earnings trend has not been the driver's friend, and there's more bad news, and there's upfront pricing, and there's this recreate the wheel, we don't need miles and minutes. I mean, I'm like going like, come on, where is this going, right? But one of the top complaints that we get, that I get hammered every single time I open my mouth about it, and actually reluctantly I'm about to write an article again, glutton for punishment that I am. It's about take rates. Okay. All right. So we know what's been happening to Uber and Lyft take rates, consistently going higher. Obviously initially VCs were throwing the money at them. They were losing money, but now they're public companies. They have to make money, right? I'm not going to ask you how InDrive is going to make money, but talk to me a little bit about commission rates and what you're offering currently.
Yeah. Look, ultimately right now, for the first 6 months of our launch in South Florida, we're not charging the drivers any fee. So we're allowing them to take 100% of the ride fare, excluding airport fees and tolls. Yeah. So we are taking that out. So clearly there's an advantage to sit there and drive with us at this moment in time. As we kind of look forward, are we going to take commission and have a service charge? Of course. But with us, we do have a very lean business model by, comparison to our competitors. We definitely rely on organic growth versus incentivized growth. Without incentivized models, we're able to kind of pull back in the upfront and let revenue kind of even out over time. So definitely kind of our strategy, both from a launch point of view, and then as I'm kind of thinking ahead, we have to sit there and have a competitive advantage of making sure that the drivers are bringing home more money, right?
Right.
Like that's what's really going to make us a player in this market. And so we're analyzing every single operational efficiency that is necessary, and making sure that we're being 100% transparent along the way.
Yeah.
Because I know all of the hidden stuff and conversation. I understand. So I don't want to play that game with both of you or anybody that is watching this going forward.
Yeah, transparency is something that's been lacking from the first day, right? So I don't see this. This is not rocket science. This is easy business. Pick up point A, drop off point B. Why do we need this? I mean, you can make it as complicated as you want, obviously, but it's not necessary. So one last question for you, and then I'll give you the floor to close, or give us your pitch. Is this a lot of drivers, right? Who they look. There's going to be some pushback. They're going to say, okay, yeah, every company starts with a free app and it's free now, and then they're just like Uber and Lyft. Look, as a 7-8 year old veteran driver, I have so much scar tissue that I cannot get enough plastic surgery to replace all that scar tissue. Okay, so I'm going like, yeah, this is all too good to be true, right? Or the app is so glitchy that it's never gonna happen. All this and stuff. And I'm going
Sure.
like, what is, like, let's say, give me like an established market that you're in, right? So you said 650 cities. Take the top city that you're in and give us the take rates or what the commissions or the service fee is in those cities. I'm not saying it's going to be the same in the US, but
Yeah.
something comparable, right?
Yeah. I appreciate that caveat. It's being in the marketplace here with the level of insurance and all of those particular costs, we have to be cognizant. Around the world, our average commission rate is 10% of the ride fare. So that's kind of the average across the board, across the entire globe as it stands right now.
And this includes commercial insurance.
This includes the insurance, and they're different in different countries. So I'm
Okay.
definitely not a subject matter expert there for sure.
Okay, drivers do, let's say in the US, you're head of US operations. In the US,
Yep.
do the drivers need special licensing? Do they need some sort of, obviously they have to go through a background check. We know that. They upload
They
their
do.
documents. Do they need any special licensing? But it means it may be city by city, state by state. But let's say you're in Miami now. So what does a driver in Miami who wants to sign up need to do, right? Other than download the app and upload the documents.
Download the app, upload the documents, pass a background check, go through all of the beginning parts of signing up to be an independent contractor for us. No special licensing, any of that other kind of stuff right now. But it probably will change from state to state,
Yep.
city to city, based on local regulations.
So give us also a little bit color, if you can, what the expansion plans are. I mean, Miami is just Miami, right? And then look, last quarter Uber did 2.3 billion trips. I mean,
Yep.
I mean, if there's a market for it, you're going to take some share from these people. I'm pretty sure. But what is the expansion plans? What are the next cities? Because this week, I categorize my emails as to importance by the subject matter, right? Everybody was like, oh, is it coming here? Is it coming here? Is it coming to Vegas? Is it coming to LA? I'm like, I don't know, man. I'm going to ask the men. So you tell us what the expansion plans are.
Yeah. For me, we are currently evaluating all of these wonderful cities across the country. So let's put that first and foremost. We're definitely looking to expand and move outward. I don't think that I have the go ahead to announce our next city. We do have one, so I'll make sure that we send it along to you very, very soon, as long as I get the green light. But we're looking at our second city right now. So that's coming soon, next couple of weeks. So stay tuned. It's coming. We're coming.
We definitely will. And I'll give you, we have, I'm sure we took more time than you have probably, but in closing, if there's anything you want to add that I didn't ask you, or clarify something that you have, please, the floor is yours. Go ahead.
At the end of the day, I realize in this ride sharing space that the drivers are very, very important to making this thing work. So being cognizant of the driver's needs, your expectations, the things that you're looking for with doing this kind of work, because you guys are doing the work, you're putting in the time, you're putting in the miles, you're making it happen, and you're making it easy for me to get from point A to point B very, very quickly. So I'm very appreciative of the drivers out there. And so I look forward to hearing your feedback, answering your questions, and making sure that I continue to build something that is good for everybody. So that's my goal.
Great. So again, much appreciated. Thank you for showing up. You're traveling, safe travels. Let's keep in touch, really. And I'll send you my resume. But all kidding aside, is like I think there's, as a first P2P rideshare system in the country that we know of. Obviously, other types exist around the globe, but I think you guys are onto something. I mean, there are many other companies that we talk about, but this may be the one that I think we're going to follow really, really closely. And educate and inform our crowd as we usually do. But again, thank you so much for coming up. Again, we'll keep in touch. Let us know. We'll keep it under embargo. We're used to getting news and keeping it hush hush. So we'll all right, let's keep in touch and come on again for another update.
Love it. Gentlemen, I appreciate you guys very much.
Thank you,
All right,
Adam.
thank you.
Thank
Thanks, everyone. All right, so that was Adam Warner from InDrive. Thank you for coming on and kind of talking about, InDrive a little bit more in depth. I do see a lot of people in chat. When's it coming here? When's it coming here? And yeah, I mean, when we find out or when they make announcements, we'll pass it along. But hopefully it'll be spreading quite a bit soon. So
oh, Dakota is here. Dakota is my contact. Hey, Dakota. Yeah, you know what, man? I don't know. I wish him the best, right? I mean, they're I don't know if Uber and Lyft are losing sleep over these guys yet, but hopefully it'll work. And Jeff, I need a report, Jeff. You said he had 7 pings, so I want to know.
Yeah.
But
well,
yeah.
maybe we'll have to have him on or something,
Yeah.
or somebody on from who's driving InDrive, just to see what their experience is like. So, especially when it comes to my concern, I think is though, how would the pricing model be? Obviously, a passenger is going to want to get it cheapest they can, and the driver is going to want to try to get the most that they can. And there's going to be some sort of middle ground, but I saw a couple of people saying, "Oh, it's going to be a race to the bottom." Are you going to be able to accept, a certain point? You kind of got to know a little bit more. You got to go behind a little bit more and know your worth. So you got to be very, knowledgeable of your city, where things are going on, what's going on. You need to kind of know, your market too. I think when it comes to these counter offers, at least, my eyes looking at it versus, actually being in there and driving. So, kind of when I see a couple of people talking about that, a race to the bottom. Oh, sure, there's going to be people out there that are going to do that, but they're not going to be in the game long because they're going to take these low ball offers and they're going to be burying their car and they're not going to be making anything. So they're just going to leave, and then it's going to it'll kind of equalize out.
I have my ideas about this because we went through something like this for about 10 months with Prop 22 when Prop 22 was coming around, right? When AB5 was the law of the land, we were able to set our own surge multiplier on our chips, right?
Yeah.
And I did an article, I called it Hunger Games, right? Race to the bottom. Every driver is going to lower their own bids against the other one and whatever not, right? And, Prop 22 came, that got nullified. But in this case, I think this is an excellent tool to have in the driver toolbox. I don't see any downside, in addition to Uber and Lyft, to have InDrive on your phone as an app, as an opportunity, maybe to close a gap. Maybe you're somewhere that, you don't want to burn a DF, you turn your InDrive app, there's a trip that you want to get back to the city or whatever not. So I don't see any downside. Now, I don't know if the app is glitchy, look, they're all glitchy, bro. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how the process works until I try it, but Jeff says he's going to go out this afternoon after the podcast and try it out, and I'll definitely be talking to you, Jeff. But good luck to them. Good luck to them.
Yeah, definitely. And then I think it's just good to have a third person out there. You got
Absolutely.
like Uber Eats, you got DoorDash, you got Grubhub, you got if you're going delivery, you've got Spark and Shipt and all these other ones that are coming up. Curry's another one. You have all these different apps, and then even more beyond that. I mean, there's an app almost for everything. But if you're actually sitting here doing rideshare, if you're actually sitting here doing food, you want more apps because it's going to help you be able to get out there and make more money with less downtime. And if something happens on one, you still got 2 to fall back on. But not only that, if there's 3 in an area, it's a little bit of a separation here now. So it's not just 1 and 1, and they can kind of race to the bottom themselves, which that's what they're doing when it comes to pricing on both drivers and riders. But you get a third person in there, they kind of shake things up. If it takes a good chunk of market share, you got to adjust yourself a little bit in order to stay competitive and stay ahead. Otherwise, you're going to fall behind. I mean, look at
Exactly.
Blockbuster, Netflix, look at, look at the taxi industry to
Look,
Uber.
man,
It's the same thing. If you have
disruptors,
something that comes in,
somebody comes with a better mousetrap, disruptors will get disrupted. I'm telling you, it is what it is. Because drivers are so sick and tired of gamification, all this bullshit that they're going through around the nation, right? And this is like a fresh break. This is like a breath of fresh air. Nobody's
Mhm.
involved. It's my business, really. I'm just going to make a bid. If I'm too high, I'm not going to get the trip. I mean, look, man. I mean, I don't know how much cleaner this could get. This is as good as keep it simple, stupid will be. Okay. you,
Yeah.
you got the passenger, deal with it. It takes a minute, okay, back and forth, done. I don't know. I'm sure there's going to be some pros and cons, and we will figure it out. As they say in elections, Chris, it's too early to call. So
Yeah.
we'll just keep posting, and then we'll see where we go. You know what I mean? So
Now, Vinny, I just asked a question about the doors. We highlighted it, I think like 2 weeks ago or something, where he had the InDrive logo on the door. I believe that's a paid advertisement.
yeah,
So from what I heard, I think it's like $150 a month to have that
yeah,
advertised on your car.
yeah.
It's not necessary. So, if we hear anything else, we'll let you know. So take that with a grain of salt, but I believe that's what I heard.
Yeah.
So that's at least on that aspect.
I think
No, you
those
don't
are
have to blast your
those are
car
s-
because I
those
wouldn't
are
do that either.
yeah, those are small things. I think
Yep.
the idea is, for me as a third app, as a third rideshare app, I think there's no harm in trying. You don't like it, you don't like it, delete it. What do you want me to say, right? So,
Yep.
yeah. So yeah, let's move on. I think good luck to Adam, Dakota. We'll keep in touch. But Adam promised that he's going to send me his personal email now. So come on.
Well, yeah, no, again, thank you, appreciate it. It's good to get more people out there, more recognition when it comes to this, and all these different people I was seeing in the chat right now. Bring it to Nashville, bring it to LA, bring it to Hey, we'll see. We'll see.
I know.
Let's bring it like the surge virus. Started in Central Florida and spread out like wildfire. Let's do that.
Let's not do that. But
No, I'm
yeah.
talking about for
Oh,
InDrive.
the InDrive. Oh yeah, definitely. I'm all in. Look, I don't want to say too much because actually for the last 2 weeks, Chris, I kind of feel weird doing these things now because I know the laser eyes are here. But you know what? I'm just gonna be free. I'm just gonna
Well,
go.
that's
It
that's
is
the
what
whole
it
point.
is.
That's the whole point. But like I said, we did change things up a little bit because we did have Adam on. He was in the airport, so we wanted to bring him on quicker, so then that way he didn't have any issues with his flight or anything like that. So let's do the rundown because we didn't even get to that yet. So let's talk about that. So what we got going on? We're going to be talking about a recap of the gig conference 2023 when it comes down to Sergio being there last week. And the kids, Zach and Kim. We call them the kids though, but they were there as well too. I was on vacation, so I wasn't there. And then also we're going to be talking about the launch of the campaign for proper legislation for gig worker rights. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. Then we're going to be talking about the current Minneapolis situation, and just announced we're going to kind of tie in Chicago with that because that's new. We don't have any screenshots for that, but we'll talk about that as well. We got Lyft earnings to go over. Then we're going to be talking about basically the title of today, Lyft wanting to eliminate prime time or surge pricing for passengers. How is this going to affect driver earnings? Then we're going to talk about Dara and his shock, his awe that a 2.9-mile trip here costs $52. Oh, yeah. You know what his shock and awe was? He's like, oh, I felt that in my pocketbook. Ooh, that wallet feels a little bit bigger. And then we're going to be talking about our gig worker financial freedom segment. We're going to be talking a little bit about investing there. Then we're going to be talking about how they voted for more autonomous vehicles in the streets of San Francisco. So we got more unicorns. Here's a little fun fact. You can buy cones.
Bullshit.
Here's a fun fact. You can buy cones on Amazon. I just bought 4.
I did
for
$3.99, bro. $3.99. Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
No,
But yeah,
Temu. I'm gonna buy a dozen on Temu.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Yeah, Temu. So we're going to be talking about the AVs on San Francisco. We may have somebody coming on talking about that in San Francisco. So a nice little thing there. We're going to be talking about how a Chicago rideshare driver turned the tables on some carjackers. And then we're going to be talking about some funnies, a funny story, especially when it comes to these AVs. So we got some good stuff coming for you. First, though, I think you want to mention the little shirt that you're wearing there.
Yeah. So this is the new design. Actually, hustle part is green, but for some reason it's showing white. I don't know why. It says Essence of Gigpreneur. So this is the merch line that I'm supporting. Company's name is Gig With It. The link is in the show notes. On checkout, please use Sergio, SERGIO, to get an extra 15% off. In fact, we're going to do our first donation, unfortunate donation, but we are, to a driver who was murdered up in Seattle while he was doing rideshare. So why do I say that? I'm saying that because every dollar of each sale is $1 of each sale by the company and myself is going to go to a fund that is going to be donated to the victims of violent crimes during gig work. Okay, so paying back to the community as well. Link is in the show notes, gigwithit.com. Use Sergio at exit to get your 15% extra off on top of, I think it's 20% off already. Green screen. Yeah, well, I didn't know. We Zoom, I just put it on and I look at it, it's white now. I go like, what kind of bullshit is that? But anyway, so yeah, it's a good cause. On top of that, support us and we'll support the drivers. And next week, I will show you guys the screenshot of the GoFundMe page's donation that we did. So there we go.
Right. Well, if you don't want to wait and you want to get it right now, enter hashtag gig with it. That's and right. You'll get what are you giving?
Let's give the hat first. Let's give the hat.
Oh, you're giving the hat away. Oh, even better.
Yeah, we're doing hat and a shirt.
Ignore the ignore the
shirt,
gig hat, gig with it t-shirt. We'll do the hat now. So if you want the hat, make sure you hit hashtag gig with it. And just in a couple of minutes, we will announce the first winner for that. And then let's get into our first one, and that is talking about the recap of the GigCon.
Yes, how was it? So excited, bro. So excited to meet the kids. I had met Pedro last year at Curbivore in March. Not last year, this year. What am I saying? This year.
Yeah,
shout out. Yeah, I know, a few months ago. Shout out to Wallet, my sponsor, to sending me out there. Thank you, Wallet. Great trip. It was 2 days. Friday was Pedro's event, GigCon 2023. Pedro is the Jesus-looking guy behind me. And lovely Kim in between. And the frat boy on the left, Zach, who is the crew at Money Hungry, as you guys can see.
No spaces, David.
We did a quick...
hashtag gig with it. As it is what you see in right there and what everybody's putting in chat.
Yeah. So Kim and Zach, I miss him already. We have an amazing crew at Rideshare Guy, bro. Let me tell you, amazing people. Friday was a great day. Met a whole bunch of content creators and drivers. And actually, a few people that I frequently email with, they came and said hello. Thank you for you know who you are. Saturday was Steve Johnson, Rideshare Rodeos, which is here's the trip, and there's Zach and me, and right in the middle on her knees is Stephanie Vigil, and she is the ex-DoorDasher who has become a Colorado House member, and she brought a bill on last year, which was killed by Uber and Lyft, and this year, she's coming back again. But the backstory, and then, on this picture, you guys can see Luis Berti of Delivery TV. Everybody's in here. We had a great time. But importantly, Chris, my big mouth, got me in trouble.
We all know your big mouth, Sergio. We know.
Every single time, bro. Every single time I get nailed. Every single time. So... Okay, so when Stephanie's bill got shot down, it was the transparency bill.
Yep.
And one of the senators, Colorado state senator, we're talking senator now, His name is Senator Kevin Priola.
Got
So
into
I
a
go
little
to
Twitter match with him.
yeah, a little bit. And then, you know, when he shot the bill down, and he's a Democrat himself, oh, I was all over Twitter, all over him, saying, "You sell out, you're this, you're that." I mean, you know, everybody's a tough guy on the internet, right? And then I walk in, Steve is shaking, like literally shaking. He comes over, he says, "Priola is here." I'm like, "Whoop, change of plans." So we did our own little bit of a, you know, speeches, and then I took Kevin Priola hostage for 45 minutes for a private conversation. You know, obviously I'm being tongue in cheek here, not hostage. He intently listened to what I had to say. And, you know, we all realize now that with the way things are, Chris, you know, proper legislation we're willing to support and we're here to support. Okay. And to me, I think my efforts, personally speaking, is going to be directed towards proper legislation for gig worker rights and staying independent contractors. That's it. That's what I'm going to do. Then I had a great conversation with Stephanie V. Hill, and you know what the new proposal or the new drafting of the new bill may look like, which I'm going to try to help as much as I can. And you know, it was a great, great trip, bro. It was great. You know, meeting people. You know how you see him on YouTube. You know, it's
Mhm.
all two dimensional. It's like it's just you see somebody on TV, right? And then you see him in person. It's like three-dimensional. It's just, you know, it's completely
Yeah,
different. So
you really get to see him.
yeah, man, it's like it's amazing, right? So, you know, Kim, Zach, love you. Huge thanks to David Picarello of Para for putting up the Saturday event, as well as Steve of Rideshare Rodeo. It was great Saturday. It was a great Friday. It was an overall great trip. Other than my flight getting delayed 4 times due to lightning, it was fantastic, bro. It was amazing. So,
Well,
um,
at least though, again, that was going back to LA, not going into Denver. So at least that's a better
yeah.
way to look at it.
Okay, Dara has no chance, bro. I will smash him. Dara, I know you're watching. I missed. I just said it. My big mouth, right? So I'll give you the little background about my big mouth. So when I saw Senator Priola, I went up to him. Gave him my business card, and I said, "Senator Priola, pleasure to meet you, Sergio Avidian of the Rideshare guy." He looks down. He's like 6'4" and 280. Okay, he's not a little guy. He looks down at me. He goes, "Oh, you're the guy." I'm like, "Shit," and I'm like, "Yep, sorry, you
I
know,
was looking
sir,
right down at you. He's like, "Hey."
yeah, you're the guy." And then I go, yeah, apologies. You know, you know, it's all fair game. He goes, I get it, I get it. But one thing I discovered, Chris, is that a lot of these legislatures, honestly, I mean, he could have walked away. He's a senator of Colorado. Like, who gives a shit about Surge? He
Mhm.
intently listened. He learned quite a bit. And then we tagged team with Kim and Zach, and they took over for another 15 minutes while I was talking to Stephanie Vigil. And he did not know about tip baiting. He did not know about unjust deactivations. He did not know about any of this stuff. He did not know
Mhm.
base pay was $2 and algorithms are going wild and doing this. In fact, we did our test in front of him in Denver. He was like, "What the hell is going on here?" I go, "Sir, now you have a lot more tools in your toolbox. Look, I don't blame these legislatures. The guy he's a senator, right? He has probably 50 bills in front of him. First 5, he probably will understand what's going on. The next 45, he's probably listening to his aides voting on these things, you know. But I am pretty sure we have his vote now. So, Mr. Priola, Senator Priola, many thanks. If you're watching this, you know, we need you. But yeah, that was it. It was great. It was awesome.
Nice. Well, I wish I could have been there, but I was on vacation, so I I got to choose the vacation with the family over. So, but I'm glad that it was a good time. I'm glad everybody was able to meet and talk and have a great conversation, especially when it came to filling in people who may not necessarily know what they're talking about, or at least when they're voting on these issues. So that's good.
I don't know how to take this, Chris. It was it's
No,
a,
he's saying, "Don't come back. Don't come back to
oh, they'll come
California."
back. Okay, all right. Yeah, I'm not dying, but
Or
it's okay.
don't come back.
Okay. All right, cool. All right.
All right, well,
But yeah,
let's
that's
give
good.
away this T-shirt now.
Let's do it.
Um,
All right.
let's see who is gonna, or I'm sorry, the hat. That's what
The
it is,
hat.
the
Yeah,
hat.
we're giving the gig with a hat. Whoever wins, please.
E. Congratulations, T.
Winner T. So whoever wins, please, I need your physical address. Obviously, we cannot ship this, without a physical address. And so hat is T. Okay. You'll get a hat, obviously adjustable, exactly what you're seeing here. So thank you for playing. Let's go.
All right. So our next one, let's talk about going on with the legislation. Minnesota, Chicago
There's
is
fresh news.
Join the ranks, but let's kind of do our update with Minnesota, and then we'll talk about Chicago real quick.
Actually, on this one, there's fresh news. Our Joe that was on last week, the week before, he said Lyft started. Lyft and Uber are both saying they're going to leave Minneapolis if the city ordinance passes by January 1st. I sent it to you right before the show, remember? Bullshit. Well, one time. We have to call the bluff of these people one time. Just one single time, okay? Plus, why wait until January 1? Just leave now. It's like,
right.
So Minneapolis city ordinance. This is a city ordinance now. This is Minneapolis, okay? This is just like the Seattle playbook that we talked about last week. It starts in a city, spreads out to the state. Starts in a city, spreads out of the state. So we know Governor Walz. I'm not going to talk smack about Walz because one day I may meet this guy. Okay, I'm not going to talk about crap about any executive. Well, exceptions, of course, rule, but or politicians for sure. I'm just not going to do it. Anyway, so Governor Walz vetoed the bill that was passed by the House and the Senate in Minnesota, state bill. That didn't work out. Now he's with a committee, put the Uber, Lyft drivers all in one room and trying to come up with a model. So maybe that's why they're going to wait until January 1, saying give governor's committee some time to, figure this thing out. But this bill, we talked with Joe, this is a city ordinance bill, city of Minneapolis only, not for all of Minnesota. $1.40 a mile, 51 cents a minute, unjust deactivation rights, and a couple other things are in here. This is just like the Seattle bill. And Uber and Lyft today said, well, we're going to leave. Okay. I'm like, sayonara. Sayonara. And
Joe, and anybody else who wants to write an email to the city here, to the elected officials there who are going to be looking at this and voting on it, probably should let them know exactly what's going on. That they're talking a big bullshit game there, and they're not really going to be leaving. We all know this. We've seen this many a time before when it came to different things. They said that they were going to leave California, the entire state of California, if drivers were going to become employees. No, we heard the same thing in Seattle. We heard the same thing in Chicago. We heard the same thing in other areas as well too. So you know what? It's time the city calls their bluff, because that's all it is. It's a bad poker hand that Uber and Lyft are trying to play. It's effective in trying to scare, but when you ask to show them the cards by calling them out, they're gonna have nothing. So a 2 and a 6 isn't gonna be jack. So
so Uber and Lyft said that this is an ordinance that is coming around. They're going to vote on this on August 17th, which is 2 days from now, Chris. Joe could be getting 140 and 51. Our good old Joe. You're going to swim in cash for at least 3 months, Joe, until they leave.
They're not going to leave. That again, that's just scare tactics.
Look, again, with balance. Okay, we're not. Everything should have a balance. There are people who use Uber and Lyft for a lot of services who are in need. If their prices quadruple, and Uber says they're going to double. Literally in this article, I read everything, so I break it down for you guys because we want to go faster today. Is this Uber and Lyft both are saying, which there's a point to it. Rides are going to be more expensive in Minneapolis than they are in New York City with all the regulations that they have. They go, people cannot afford that. Ridership is going to go down. There's price elasticity. There are people who use it for medical transport. There are people who use these services, ADA, American Disabilities, all these things, all these people. They go, why are we hurting all these people? And the drivers are saying, which is right here, I'm going to read one sentence. We're going to go to the next one. It goes, I took a gentleman from downtown Minneapolis to the airport a couple of days ago for $60. And then driver made 18 out of the 60. So when you see these things, right? And Uber and Lyft says we're going to leave. Well, I don't think you should leave Uber and Lyft, because look at the take rate on that thing. Okay, so
Mhm.
you have to pay a little bit more. This is the time to open the purse strings a little bit. Maybe not charge the passenger 100% more. You have to eat a little bit of the take rate. Plus, Mr. Koshoshay, I know you're watching this. Every time I say it, I'm laughing. I don't even know why I'm laughing, Chris. Okay, listen, Mr. Koshoshay, you said it on this acquired podcast, which I watched twice, word for word. Okay, you said we want to take our take rate down anyway. Now, if anybody believes that, which let's say I did, I'm not saying I did, but let's say I did. You want to take the take rate down from 29% to 20%? Great. Don't jack the prices up that much. Pay the drivers a little bit more. That's how you lower your take rate, sir. There you go.
Mhm.
We accomplish all goals. So, thumbs up, City of Minneapolis. Give a hand to everybody in Minneapolis who are fighting tooth and nail. And we're in support. We're support. I don't know about but I'm supporting this cause right here. I think
Yeah,
this should
no,
be.
that's a we. That's an absolute we, because like I say, I'm a big fan of the Seattle and Washington model, and this is becoming another part of that. So it's the extension. They're taking the same kind of thing and bringing it to the city here. So yeah, I think this is a good thing. I said earlier, this is the dominoes falling.
Yeah.
So I think you're going to start seeing the Wild West start being kind of come back to what it should be.
Okay, this is
No
my
longer when
this is my new troll. He replaced the defenestrator. Joe Driver is my new troll. What do you say to this, Chris? What do you think? What should you say to this?
I
What do
would
you
say,
think?
Joe, you might want to rethink that. Just
Uh,
saying, you might want to
just saying,
rethink
buddy.
that.
It's all good. Anyway,
But with that being said, not only is Minneapolis, the city of Minneapolis, going to be having their vote very soon in a couple of days, but what was just announced in Chicago?
I got an email right before I got on the show. It's Chris, this is happening, bro. This is like so beautiful. It's like little dominoes, right?
Hmm.
City of Chicago is passing an ordinance exactly like Minnesota's, except it's cheaper. $1.20 a mile, 41 cents a minute. This is for the city of Chicago, not Illinois, city. It's starting in cities. And I'm gonna have those people. I'm gonna talk to those people this week. It's out there. So city by city by city, right? The fires are starting, and let's see where we're gonna go. And the one in Chicago is $1.20 and 41. Unjust deactivation rights automatically, right? On top of that, minimum fare is $7 a trip instead of the 262. So it's just honestly, it looks exactly like the Minneapolis package. It almost like I'm not going to say carbon copy because the rates are different, obviously, but it's
Hmm.
happening, bro. It's happening. We need to push. We need to push. Yeah.
Well, I like this one. Does the Chicago law include free bulletproof vests for drivers?
Yeah. Well, yeah, Chicago is not the best, the safest place at the moment.
Too
But
long.
Megan, thank you, Megan. How did your accident go, Megan? Shoot me an email. She wasn't an accident. The day she
Oh
installed her display ride, she wasn't an accident.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
Hopefully everything's okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Gambit, I can't. We have Prop 22, so I don't know what to do about that one. But anyway, so yeah, it's starting, bro. I'm telling you. We're trying to create a coalition with all the content creators out there that there's power in numbers. Everybody is like leaders of their cities and states. Get drivers together, grassroots campaign. We had the people from Seattle and Washington State last week, Teamsters, Washington Drivers Union, as well as our Walt. Look, man, this is a grassroots campaign. Go to the airport, talk to other drivers. If you're Hispanic, go to the airport, talk to your drivers. Let them know that we exist, that we're trying to fight for you guys. And this is doable, man. It really is. All it needs, Chris, is one of these cities to fall. Like
Hmm.
on the 8th, on the 17th, if
Oh, no.
city of
I think it's one of the cities to call the bluff, and then you
well,
start seeing more cities.
yeah,
Like I said, it's the beginning of
yeah.
the fall of dominoes. So
One by one by one by one, bro. There we go.
Mhm.
So we have more news about this stuff, by the way, what we're doing. We'll break that down. In fact, we may even have some guests about this, but there you go.
All right. So that was talking about what's going on in Minneapolis and or Minnesota and what's going on in Chicago. Yeah, we'll let you know what's going on next week. Maybe we'll see if Joe can come on, depending on how it's voted, or at least give his grievance. We'll see. And then let's talk about Lyft's earnings. So we talked about Uber's earnings last week, from the week prior. Last week, Lyft had their earnings call. So let's talk about what's going on there.
Lyft's earnings were better than expected. Their guidance was, I'm going to go quick on this because we want to keep going. Lyft's earnings were better than expected. They took a tiny bit of market share from Uber. Their pricing is super, super competitive now. And in top 20 cities anyway, which were they're lagging behind. They said about the same, they talked about the same thing as, a lot of drivers are coming back onto the platform. It could be macroeconomic conditions that people have to drive to make ends meet. They raised guidance. Again, they talked about, Chris, commercial insurance rates going through the roof, except that they're signing a long-term, 1 year for them is long-term, I guess, 1 year long-term contract with insurers starting in October. So that, at least that part of the cost is going to be under control. Lyft CEO David Risher bought 100,000, like Dara is selling, Lyft CEO is buying. So you guys know, we'll talk about that a little bit in our education segment, financial freedom education segment. The company says we're going to keep competing, right? And they also said something that we're going to do a segment out of because it's been a hot topic, Chris. I mean, and Lyft CEO, so Richard took over as Lyft CEO April after Green and co-founder John Zimmer stepped down. Isn't it ironic, by the way? I didn't know that Adam was ex-Lyfter.
I didn't either.
I was like, wow, what the hell, bro? Talk about, wow, insider, huh?
Yeah.
Since assuming the helm, Richard has dismissed 26% of Lyft's workforce, which I think he did the right thing, and said the company would take on a partner or sell its bike scooter. Okay, we're going to do that. We'll talk about that later. So all those layoffs, shave off. See, they're using our word. It's $330 million in expenses. Look, the company was on its deathbed, Chris. Our little tree? Our little tree got a little life. Like,
a little bit. Somebody, Uber, I don't know, windstorm came through, blew a branch down. Yeah. Somebody watered it. Somebody gave it a little extra light. I'm not sure. But yeah, it's getting a little life.
Yeah. So Lyft reported 21.5 million MAUs or MAPCs, monthly active users, and that was up 8%. So they're getting the passage. Look, what Richard said when he first got hired, all the Bloomberg and all the interviews that he did. He said, we're going back to the basics. Okay. He says, we have 2 customers. I have to mention this. So Mr. Koshosrai, with much apologies, but you have to listen to this. Okay. This is emotional. It was really, really interesting. So I have a tendency of counting words during conference calls, like what they keep saying. If they keep saying the same thing over, something is about to happen there, because those are the words that they use the most, right? During the Uber conference call, earners, not drivers, earners was used just one time. During the Lyft conference call, drivers was used over 14 times. Richard kept saying, we have 2 customers. One is the passenger, one is the driver. We're going to take care of both. We want to take care of both. I mean, the guy is like really, really personable. Now, it was his first conference call. They had a couple of hiccups, but it's okay. But I don't know. At the moment, it's all good, right? Now, the next segment we're going to talk about, which is going to be like, he's going to get hammered on that one. But I think, yeah, that's going to be bad. Yeah. But anyway, so yeah, Lyft is doing the right things, cutting costs, gaining market share back that they lost under the other 2 guys, competing in pricing trips correctly. And we'll see what the next quarter brings. So, and they have a new CEO, new CFO, new team. So let's give these.
Yeah. Well, either way, they definitely need to work harder, because, like I say, when we were in Chicago, I mean, I know what Buffalo's like when it comes to it. It's about 4 to 1 when it comes to Uber and Lyft. But with Chicago, it was absolutely wild, because You know, when we were sitting there with the drivers, it was just ping after ping after ping after ping on Uber, Trip Radar, ping, whatever was coming in. It was just nonstop, except for when they got put into timeout. But then it went into in the Lyft, and it was just like crickets for the longest time. It was like completely opposites. So, you know, if you start breaking down that barrier and start making it more equal, especially in somewhere like Chicago, yeah, you could have a big, a much more different looking company.
Yeah. So I think Lyft is competing, and I want them to compete, because you do not want to. You do not want a world where Uber is a monopoly. you you don't want that.
Who knows? Maybe that's and maybe that second company would become InDrive and not Lyft. But I
I
think
don't
we'll
know.
see. But
Oh,
you know, here's the thing. You just said that they went with 14 times. They said the driver, and that they have two customers, the driver and the customer. Well, you know what? The customer is going to hate surge pricing, dynamic pricing, because
Yep.
it means it's going to be more costly. But drivers like it because they actually get paid right. But what happens when Lyft wants to kill surge pricing or primetime pricing?
I'm gonna get hammered on this. You know that, right? Because see, I get a lot of emails now. Oh, you're kissing his ass because he's gonna come on the show. I'm like, bro, I don't even know. You know, I don't have a date set if he's gonna come on. Not come. I know he's coming on, but you know, we're just giving him all the rope to see when. You know, I emailed them again, Chris. Give us a date, please. Something, right? Okay. Here's the deal. During the conference call, this is the only part I did not like. But then I started thinking about it, and then I think you need to chime in on this, because I may have to play the devil's advocate in this. Okay. A lot of drivers are going ape shit online, everywhere. Oh, they're gonna get rid of you know, prime time. Well, they got rid of prime time. There is no prime time already. What are you guys talking about? Now, my understanding during the conference call, if you guys don't believe me, hey man, go to the Lyft investor website, listen to the conference call. It's 48 or 55 minutes long, whatever it is. And in there, they talked about this. They said from the first day, the riders hated prime time with a passion. Well, yeah, because the guy goes one way to a concert, you know, cost him $30. On the way out, the same trip going back home cost him 150. Why is that? That's because dynamic pricing, supply and demand, all the shenanigans, right? Okay. So David Risher says we may have to get rid of prime time pricing. Now, before you get, you know, bent out of shape and cuss me out here, hear me out. First of all, under upfront pricing, what's the purpose of bonuses anyway? They're all included in the freaking fare, and the algorithm is cutting, slicing, shaving anyway. So what's the point? You're not even getting that full bonus that you used to before upfront fares. That's one. Two, on the back end, they are really ripping the passenger off still with prime time, 100, 200, 300%. In order for Lyft to compete more with Uber, how about this? What if they just get rid of prime time just for the passenger, right? And on the driver screen, you're going to see maybe $2 and $3. And look, under prime time or flat rate surge or sticky surge, whatever it's called, bonus, you may catch a unicorn here and there with $25, $30 bonus. Okay. But in general, when I look at my maps in LA, they're like $1, $2, $3. They have killed the bonus surge anyway. So I'm not sure this is going to hurt that much. Now, if you took all prime time away from the customer, base rates, let's just talk base rates, you know, then decline the trips. 9 out of 10 are declines, Chris, right? Yes, I understand prime time in my day was my sugar. I mean, shit, there's nothing wrong with doing a 200% trip to LAX. Those days are over. They're not coming back. All I'm saying is maybe they're just going to lower prime time on the passenger side and maybe not completely take it away from the driver's side. You know, that's my take. That was my take during the conference call. So
if that's what they're going to do, then I don't think a driver should have a problem with that. It's the fact that they didn't address if there's going to be a surge pricing on the driver end. They only talked about it on the passenger end. So if you're saying you have two customers and one kind of relies on it at points to make some extra money, and the other one just hates it all outright. And I mean, as a passenger, I would hate it outright too. I mean, as a driver, I love it.
Yeah.
So you can see there's a huge disconnect there. You know, here's the thing. if they wanted to do something, they could just say, hey, we're changing our pricing structure when it comes to primetime pricing or when it comes to surge pricing,
Exactly.
dynamic pricing, whatever you want to call it. Instead of us charging 100%, 200%, 300%, or a multiplier, we're going to have it dynamically priced where the driver gets 100% of the extra pay. So yeah, if you have the $3, $5, $12, that's built into what the passenger would pay, not a ride that's $60 or $30 and $150 coming back the other way. You know, if you're going $30 one way, and let's say it's a $15 extra, it's $45. So then that way, it brings it into a much better realm. And then that way, the driver is still going to get, you know, the surge pricing or dynamic pricing, whatever you want to call it. And, you know, it reins it back in so much instead of Lyft or Uber collecting, you know, the bulk of that particular pricing.
Yeah. I mean, you know, one other thing that I need to talk about this is that you're actually hit the nail on the head, Chris, because during the conference call, you know, these people are all analysts. They have no freaking idea what the driver is going through, right? I'm just a listener. I cannot ask a question during these conference calls. But here's the deal. The proper question after that to Richard would have been, and Mr. Richard, we're going to ask you this when you come on, by the way, so you know, I'm giving you a hint. This is a big issue. Now, if you're going to clear out the maps like Uber, make it all gray or some other garbage color, okay, and get rid of all surge pricing, two things are going to happen, Chris. They are definitely going to grab market share from Uber, right? Prices are cheap. Prices are going to be cheaper. They're definitely going to be cheaper, period. Now, if they cut so much more on the driver's side, which I don't know if they can any more than they already have, right? They're going to lose the supply that he was boasting about, saying, oh, we have enough supply, you know, our drivers are coming back. Look, Mr. Vischer, this is like a two-way highway. You cut, your take rate is going to go down, your profit margin is going to go down. I understand trying to grab market share by having lower prices by getting rid of prime time for the passenger is one thing, but there's repercussions of that. You cannot just lower it, you know, on the passenger side and lower it on the driver's side some more, or get rid of surge or bonuses altogether. People are going to switch back to Uber again, you know, because this is not this is not 2015. I mean, people are going to switch back. People are not dumb. So, you know, they're playing with a little bit of a fire here. You know, they're playing.
Our time is going to the highest bidder. So that means if I'm downtown, you know, 12, 1, 2, 3 in the morning, and taking rides from downtown, you know, back out, and whatever it might be, what app am I going to turn on? I'm definitely going to turn on Uber because I'm starting to see good surge across the board. You know, my entire area gets lit up at that time. So, okay, I'm going to sit on there. Why would I sit on Uber, or I mean on Lyft, when Uber's showing the money? Again, my time goes to the highest bidder.
Yeah, I agree. And so you know, Mailwire, I don't know what city you're in, but you know, if you're in Minneapolis or in Chicago, and when time comes to support driver causes or rights with city or state bills or legislation, do not disappear. Don't run like a chicken, because a lot of people say what you say. We can talk till the end and nothing changes, nothing. A lot will change if you guys stand together and make your voices heard. Write your legislatures, talk about this. You know, saying, oh, nothing will change. Well, then you gave up the fight already. So, but thank you for the comment. So there you go.
I like James, low prices means nothing if no driver picks you up. Exactly. That's the thing. If everybody goes on the Uber platform and nobody's picking up on the Lyft platform because one has surge pricing and one doesn't, I mean, as a passenger, you're going to try ordering Lyft. They're going to say no cars are nearby. You turn on the you see the Uber, you see all these Uber signs and probably Lyft signs too at that point going by, but nobody's going to have their apps on.
I think Lyft has to clarify what they said, because a lot of drivers are upset that they're going to get rid of the surge for both sides. Okay. If you get rid of surge on the passenger side, passengers are going to love it. They're all going to clamor to you, come to you, because you're going to be a lot cheaper than Uber and you're going to gain market share. Yeah, but you know, as you said, Mr. Vischer, there's two customers. Drive. Yeah, you have all the passengers. You have no drivers. It ain't going to work. Remember your conference call? You said driver 14 times. You need this too. You need this leg. This leg is good. This leg you need. Okay. So, but maybe, you know, they can come and clarify to us, and then, you know, we can put something out there. So.
All right. Well, let's do our next giveaway, and we're going to do the shirt this time. So if you want a shirt, enter hashtag gig with it again.
Okay, this
in
part is
in
green,
the chat.
people. This part is green. Don't look at it as white. It's green. Okay.
Yeah, you dang green
Hustle.
screen.
Green
I'm
screen.
surprised
Damn
it didn't
green
actually
screen.
go. I'm surprised it doesn't make you see through where it's showing the background.
That would be bad news.
Oh yeah, no, I put it on. I can see right through myself.
Oh, oh, put the green screen up.
Yeah.
I want to wrap myself in green screen next week.
Oh geez. And then you just have your head there. You'll be like Harry Potter putting the
That's a hand.
invisible
Yeah.
cloak on.
Yeah, I should do the Rideshare interview
Oh
just
my
like
God.
that.
Oh,
With just my head
Wait.
floating.
And then underneath it, you got to have the stash. So it looks like you're floating on the stash. We'll play the I Dream of Genie.
Shit. Man, you crack me up, bro. See, that's why when you I have never seen Chris in person. I mean, I've seen him on YouTube. I haven't shaken his hand. Next year, you
I know,
get
we
your
got
ass
to do
out
it.
to fucking Herbivore, bro. Let me tell you this, okay? Get
Well,
your ass out
Harry,
here.
if you're watching, I need a
fuck
plane
Harry.
ticket
So,
to
screw
Herbivore.
Harry. It's like, no, Harry, I know you're flying to New York. That's why I can talk shit about you. You're in the plane. Harry and I had a great meeting. We had
Oh,
a
he's in
really
my
good plan.
backyard.
Is he? Oh, is he here?
Well, he's in New York, but
Okay,
I mean,
yeah,
backyard meaning the other side
I
of the
got you.
street.
I got you. Yeah, we had a great lunch. We have great plans for Show Me the Money. He's supporting us all the way. You know, thankfully to our audience. Oh, by the way, can I? So I'm gonna mention this. I was gonna do it at the start, but then I go maybe not. But then let me just throw an olive branch to who we're talking about here. So last week we put up not last week, 2 days ago, we put up a video, right? And we had a screenshot on it that had the initials RD. RD stands for Rational Driver. He's a driver that sends me quite a bit of information, right? And without going into details, so now we're mentioning, go to his website, check it out, Rational Driver. He has good information for drivers, cost calculators and things like that. But we had a little bit of a fallout due to his knuckleheadedness, but it's okay. We forgive and we move on. So yeah, there you go. What's the next one?
We are going to be talking about Uber.
Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so
now
yeah,
here's the thing.
He's got so much play.
I know. Here's the thing. If you are doing an interview with somebody and they tell you, "Hey, I 2.9 mile, $56 or $50 Uber trip or whatever, $52 or whatever it was," you'd be like, "Oh my God, yeah. All right,
Well,
hold on.
Yeah, this conversation is crazy, bro. The guy, first of all, the guy is Stephen Levy. He's the editor of Wired magazine, which I'm not friends with, but I know of him. But I work with Arian Marshall quite a bit. It was him. He took an Uber, 2.9 miles, paid $50 including trip, and then he asked Dara, "What do you think I paid for this trip?" And Dara said $20. He goes, "No, 50, sir." He was like, his mouth fell to the ground.
It's like, oh yeah, so I was get this. I was walking my dog yesterday. True story. I was walking my dog yesterday, and all of a sudden I come up. I'm looking down at the street, and I come up, and there's a nice folded $10 bill just laying in the middle of the street.
Yeah.
So I pick it up. I look at it. I'm like, oh, it's a real $10 bill. It's not anything else. But that's what he's thinking. He's like, oh, I just put $10 more in my pocket.
Yeah, 24 million and 10.
Yeah, that's it.
So
he's like, oh, there's a sucker born every minute.
Yeah, so with my big mouth, I got on Twitter as usual, and I DM'd Steven, okay, and he responded in kind. I said, Steven, you cannot just say you paid $50 for a 2.9, 3-mile trip, including a tip. You have to clarify. What if you took Uber Black? If you took Uber Black, of course it's going to cost you $50 for 3 miles. You have to give me some more details so I can do something with this. And then he goes, Sergio, I know the difference between Uber X and Comfort and Black. I go, I get that, but you should put those details because you can't just generally put something out there and expect people to understand, right? So this was an Uber X trip, Chris.
Oh boy.
You think he got ripped? Yeah, he got ripped. And yeah, he got ripped. And anyway, but he paid, and Dara was in shock that oh my God, $50. Okay, first of all, I hope he tipped his driver. Maybe the trip was 40. He tipped the driver 25%, $10, right? So I'm guessing driver made maybe 12 out of that, 12 plus the tip, maybe $20 hopefully out of the 50. And happy-go-lucky. But Mr. Kosher Fry, with all the respect, you said that if you don't accept chips, the algorithm is bad. It's not working. It's still not working, sir. It's still. I tweeted it. I tweeted some chips get god awful out here, sir. We need help. Okay, we really do. We need to fix this. So anyway, but yeah.
Yep. Well, let's go on with our next winner.
Yeah, t-shirt. This time
See
you
who
need to
came
email
in
me
there.
your size as well, people. You need to email me your size. It's green with white lettering on top, on the bottom.
And it is Joe.
Oh, Joe, our good old Chicago Joe.
Congratulations, Joe.
My man Joe in Chicago. Okay, they're all gonna say the fix is in. It's not in. Joe's the man in Chicago. Joe, I better be seeing you. I better see you in that city council meeting, bro. Let me tell you this. We have a huge crowd in Chicago, Chris. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And we're gonna light some fires in Chicago, bro. That coming up on September 17th, people, but you're gonna hear before that anyway. That's a good ordinance, city ordinance. You gotta go support it. You gotta knock on doors, shake hands. Joe, send me your physical address and your shirt size. Thank you, sir. All right.
Right. And we do want to we want to give away some money too, right? So let's
do it.
just do that. We'll do our first one now.
Look at this.
Hashtag
We're
money
just-
in the chat for $25. Man, we are the giveaway kings right now. What is going on?
What's going on, bro?
I don't know, but hashtag money in the live chat. Live
Money,
chat
money,
only.
money. Live chat only, please. Yeah. Tomorrow, all the videos will have like money. Dara ex-wife who sued him for not pay. That's just flew. I don't know. Okay, lowercase money, just like it's on the. That's like it's on the thing, guys. Okay, it's not that hard.
Hashtag money.
$25.
Get yours in, and we'll do the drawing for that. You could win some money in a little bit. Let's move on for next. This is our gig work for the future segment. So this is going to be talking a little bit about investing, because
7 minutes.
you want your money to do something. You don't want it to sit there, because otherwise it's just going to lose value because of inflation. Your dollar does not go anywhere near as it used to last year, 2 years ago, 5 years ago. And then you look at, if something popped up on my Facebook the other day. I was scrolling through and it showed like an ad for a house. It was like a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, or 3-bedroom, 1-bath, or something, with a carport, and it was a house like $7,500.
What?
For the whole thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Buy a few.
I mean, you're going back many a year, but still, it's like, holy crap.
Okay.
If only.
Yeah. So with thanks to our sponsor for the next 6 weeks now, Mymo. Go to their website, please check it out. It's really, really, really great app for you to create some savings for you, do some budgeting, planning. Hey man, we have to do this for ourselves. Financial freedom. Okay. This is the other article. Okay. So some of you may or may not know, I was on Wall Street for 20 years. I'm still trade stocks and derivatives and whatever comes with it. Okay. This is not financial advice or stock advice, so please understand it. However, if you look at the history of financial markets over the last 150 years, the best instrument to invest in for the long haul has been stocks, period. More wealth has been created through the stock market. I'm not talking now jockeying and trading, day trading, all that bullshit that you will hear that people flame out overnight and then you'll never hear from them again. I'm talking about long-term investing, okay? The stocks have done considerably better than other asset classes, such as commodities, such as real estate. I'm talking over long periods of time now. So yes, last 10 years, maybe real estate may have, due to Federal Reserve pumping, helicoptering money from the skies because of the pandemic, because of many other reasons, real estate has done well, but look at inflation. You guys are all screwed. We're all paying 150, 200% more for everything, right? But in general, being part of a company or a shareholder of a company, these companies can raise prices. You can also keep pace with inflation. So my thing to you all is this. This is a simple game, okay? The way I invest, I have two different portfolios, my trading portfolio and my long-term investing portfolio. For everybody, this is a simple thing to do. You can go open an account anywhere, Webull, Coinbase, Schwab, Ameritrade, they're endless. Okay. Why don't you just, guys, like put $50 a month into an ETF? ETF is called an exchange traded fund, right? And something called that I've been doing in my life is something called dollar cost averaging. Okay, can you move to the next screenshot? Market does not go up. See, this is a history of the market for the last 20 years, okay, or 25 years. As you guys can see, there are sharp pullbacks, but in general, the trend is up. Now, even if you bought right in the middle of that, there's a top there that the market collapsed after that. That is 1929 crash, okay? Even with that, even if you bought that, well, none of us were alive, of course. But as you guys can see, the stock market is like, 2 steps up, 1 step back, 2 steps up. So even if you bought at the top, what's going to happen is that if you do dollar cost averaging, meaning if you, buy the exact same amount of dollars every month, okay, $50, $100, whatever you can put away, create a nest egg for yourself, or treat that money as a, as a fund for a rainy day. This is all things that we can easily do with online investing, online trading. These are all easily done. So all I'm saying is that, if you want to create total financial freedom, it's not going to be Uber, it's not going to be Lyft, it's not going to be InDrive, it's not going to be any of that thing, okay? It's going to be you looking out for yourself. And we put up that video, Chris. You know how many people said, oh, drivers are broke, we don't have any money. Well, if you cannot spare $50 for yourself a month, you are doing something wrong. How about this? How about don't eat out junk food every day? You will easily save yourself $50 to $100 a month, okay?
Mhm.
And invest and long-term and dollar cost average, and you will have a nice look. I'm not telling you it's going to be enough for you to buy a house in Beverly Hills, but you will have funds that are compounding, earning, this is plus dividends, and it's growing on an average of 6 to 10% a year. And lastly, on this subject, in my world, there's a thing called rule of 72, people. Please listen to this. If your return is, let's say, 10% a year, you take 72 divided by 10 is 7.2 years. That means whatever you put in 7.2 years ago has doubled already, and it's going to double every 7.2 years. And guess what? Historical averages, including dividends on the S&P 500 or the general, in general, Dow Jones and S&P 500 or the NASDAQ, has been in general between 9 and 11% per year. So whatever you put in 7 years ago doubled. And imagine week by or month by month by month, you're investing the same amount. Market goes up, you buy. Market goes down, you buy. Market goes up, you buy. That's called dollar cost averaging. You will have a fantastic, fantastic gift box sitting in your corner. So don't ask me about individual stocks. I know some of you do. I'm not going to give advice, but this is one way I invest for long term. And please do this. This is easy. Please do it. $50 a month, man. $100 a month. Stop eating Jack in the Box or some bullshit that you guys eat and get heart attacks, because rideshare driving is unhealthy anyway. Just take that money, make a sandwich at home, save the $100, and go put it in some freaking account every month and buy the S&P 500 spiders. SPY is the symbol. No cost, zero commissions. Just keep investing. Up, down, up, down, up, down, and you'll be fine. Every 7 years, you'll double your money. That's it. What else do you guys want? So there you go.
I think that little thing right there on the screenshots where it says, what are some high return alternatives to investing in stocks? I like that little thing there. Comics, art, trading cards, Lego, farmland, collectible wine, high-end purses, handbags, real estate, and crypto.
Yeah. Well, crypto, we may have, we cannot talk about crypto yet, but we'll talk about that. And look at this guy. Look at this.
Oh, look at this.
I can't deal with this, man. Anyway, so please, stock tip, invest in cat. Okay, no cat food, no antidepressant companies. All I'm telling you is I'm not giving advice. Please, I've been doing this. I'm 55 years old, gonna be 56 in March. My long-term portfolio looks damn good, especially if you don't do with the S&P 500, which is the spider, which is the ETF, exchange traded fund. Create yourself a high dividend portfolio, stable stocks. I do very, very well. I mean, right now, if you can create a 4, 5, 6% dividend yielding portfolio for yourself, you're collecting the dividends, reinvest those dividends, don't take it out as cash. Look, these are simple things to do. Lastly, if you guys want to learn more about this, email me, okay? Not personal emails, but email me about ideas. What do you guys want to talk about? Do you guys want to talk about stocks? Do you guys want to talk about bonds? Do you guys want to talk about commodities? Do you guys want to talk about crypto? Whatever it is, give me some ideas, and then every week we'll talk about one subject, and then we're trying to educate you guys for a true financial freedom, not this bullshit other things that you guys talk about. That's it.
All right, very true. Let's give away some money, so you may be able to get your first $25 to invest in. Very possible.
Yeah. Now look at this.
Let's
Okay.
see.
Bought 30 shares of Uber. See, I was going to say this, but you know what? Now that this guy said it, I'm going to say it. There we go. Hold on. Nick Hummer, 25 bucks.
Hummer, congratulations.
Email me, Sergio at therideshareguy.com. Please. Otherwise, no money. No email, no money. Okay. I'm going to say this. Don't hammer me. 8 months ago, Uber stock was $20 a share. Here, I don't have Uber stock. Okay. Is that Gabe? Fuck is he doing? Okay.
That's
All
on
right,
mute
so
now.
here's the deal. Uber was $20 a share 8 months ago. Guess where Uber is at today? 46, 45, maybe 45-ish.
Oh, yeah.
Now that's a double, and that's 100% plus another $5. Okay. How about this? You guys were new. You guys knew the second upfront fare showed up. You guys knew their take rate was going to go up. You didn't have to be a genius to figure that out. You looked at it and go, holy shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Boom, you go buy Uber stock. Yeah, I know you all hate the company. Hey, man, if they're going to screw you, you can be a shareholder. Or now Lyft is like $11. Same thing. Is this guy going to turn the company around? 8 months from now, are we going to do this and look at Lyft and say, oh, look at Lyft, it was $10, now it's 30, right? You guys can do that too on the side, right? But you're in the game. You're in, there are the DoorDash, Uber, Lyft, all these public companies that you're an insider literally because you know what they're doing to you. Well, if they're screwing you, they're doing well. Get it? So you guys, can be all smart about this. Figure this all out. There you go.
Why your name didn't show up? I don't know. Yeah, it's literally whatever it is hashtag plus the thing. Maybe your name did show up. You just didn't see it. It does go through. It can cycle through pretty quick. I mean, there's 60 entries in there. So yeah, beyond that, I don't know. But yeah, if you just do hashtag and then whatever it is. So if it was hashtag money, hashtag MONEY, whatever it is in the chat and what you see other people putting in, it just does it automatically through StreamYard, which is what we use.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, exactly. Lyft was, I wouldn't have bought Lyft at $80 with your money, but I may be thinking about it.
Hey, we're hearing something strange from you.
Yeah.
He's going,
Okay, kick him out.
Well, we're bringing Gabe on because our next topic. Yeah, you got to fix whatever's on your mic or something.
Is it my mic? It's not my mic, right?
Oh, it's his.
Okay.
Gabe, you gotta fix something on your end because it is making a very strange sound. Yeah, it's going Thank God. So yeah,
That's true.
he's not drinking and driving.
So much for the EV genius, bro. This is the EV genius. He can't even control his fucking microphone. It's like, there.
Nope, still going on. Well, why don't we skip that segment until maybe you could get worked out, whatever it is.
Okay.
Oh wait, nope.
Nope.
Oh nope, there it is. I still hear it.
You're putting cold water on a hot meal, bro. What's going on here?
Yeah. Well, you know what? While Gabe, you're fixing that, what we're gonna do, we're gonna go into our topic beyond bringing you on, and then we will. Let me see, slide 18, and then we'll bring you on. So, one of the big issues when it comes to Chicago is some of the safety, and carjackings are a huge thing. It's a huge thing, in a lot of areas, but Chicago is probably the most well known or the worst, you could say. So
Wait, Chris, can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're not getting the garbling.
I'm getting whatever it was before. No.
Okay, good. So it's okay, good. I should have had my headphones on. Sorry about that. Hey, I can't stick around because I got to pick up my kid at school. So
Okay. Well, then we'll go back to that right now. We'll talk about our different topic.
Should we do that? Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
there we go.
So,
I guess I had to ditch my whole puppet shtick.
Yeah, you did. Well, I mean,
Oh.
and then the ukulele is next. But so Gabe, what do you think? What do you think about this? The CPUC, the company, the government agency that regulates these fucking animals.
Animals. What are you talking about? You talking about the rideshare companies, or are you talking
No, I'm talking about these coneheads,
No,
bro. The unicorns, bro, right here. These
the
cruise and
self-driving
Waymo.
cars?
so
Yeah.
Yeah,
San
that's the
Francisco
AVs,
cones.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
the coneheads, you know.
Do I have to disclose I have GM stock?
Yeah, you should. You should.
Okay.
I don't know. We're gonna make fun of it. So
We're gonna definitely make fun of it. I'm gonna come put a cone on your head next time I see you. So here you go. So here's the deal.
We're
So
from
what do you-
France.
okay,
I'm
what do
from
you think-
France. All
No,
right.
you're not. So what do you think about the CPUC decision? That they have to release thousands of these things now. Hey, it's in your neighborhood. I don't give a shit. Honestly, more power.
Well,
not until a virus
I
spreads
think-
to you.
I think there's a lot of misunderstanding about the role of the CPUC. The CPUC's role is not to like regulate San Francisco or regulate transportation in the Bay Area or all their only. This a very narrow thing that they do. Is this technology safe to use for limousines, basically, right? Limousines and TNCs. And I think they just looked at it in that kind of very narrow viewpoint. They weren't looking at what's the impact going to be on employment, on the environment, on traffic congestion, on any other factor. They're just like looking really narrow thing. Like, can these cars drive people around San Francisco without crashing into things? Yeah, pretty much. So just 2 to
Have
1.
you seen? You're on Twitter,
3 to
right?
1.
Have you seen some of these videos on Twitter, bro?
They're tremendously fun, but also over the last couple of years, 2, 3, 5 years, I've seen these things driving around San Francisco, both manned and unmanned, and the way they drive is disappointing. Also, there's a good video of a former friend of mine, a friend of mine who actually used to be my Sunday school teacher, Barry Toronto, on the San Francisco Standard website, and he took a ride in a Waymo car and talked about the difference between being driven by a Waymo and being driven by an actual cabbie. So
Okay.
that's an interesting thing to kind of look for that.
All right. So do you know, because none of these journalists put out a number, and I'm sure they don't know. They would have put it out otherwise. Like, do you know how many AVs, Waymo and Cruise AVs are on San Francisco streets these days?
Well, I just read the San Francisco Standard's reporting on this is really outstanding. And
I was in
they
there.
said,
Was I in there? I think that was.
Maybe. The CEO of Cruise said they have 400 cars.
Okay. But after the CPUC decision, do you think it's going to like go to 4,000 cars? No, right?
No, probably. I think, did I read somewhere he said they might double?
Double? Okay. How about this? Tell me, you're a smart guy and you're a lawyer too. So yeah, you are. Yeah. Okay. Here it is. Tell me, I talked to a journalist about the economics of this business, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So each one of these things is probably 60, 70,000, 80,000 with all the radars, rides, or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So and on one hand, I'm actually happy that they're all putting these things out there, right? Because now they have skin in the game, because there is no more zero asset business model. Now they have to maintain these cars. They have to buy insurance on these cars, just like the rideshare driver did, right? So just replacing the rideshare driver, do you think these things are going to be surviving economically by pricing trips a lot cheaper than a rideshare driver would do?
Well, right now, my understanding is that that they're charging more than the standard rideshare car would charge. The economics, I don't know. I wrote about this 5 years ago, and exactly, I don't see what the business model of this thing. As usual, the tech companies, the tech bros, the people coming up with these solutions to problems that we have, they always come out with the technology first, and then their idea is, well, the technology, everything will follow the nice one, Norma. Everyone will follow the technology. We'll figure it out. It was like, oh, atom bomb. We'll just build an atom bomb, and then we'll figure out how to use it responsibly. But it's the same thing with artificial intelligence. It's the same thing with autonomous vehicles. So their focus is figure out how to make these autonomous vehicles, cheap enough and reliable enough technology so they'll be useful, and then we'll figure out the details after that. Like whatever.
Just like rideshare, then, right? No rules.
I mean, it's exactly
rules.
the same.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, move fast and break things. That's Silicon Valley. And
so your regulators up there did not learn anything from rideshare, obviously.
No, the regulators don't learn anything. I mean, they're people, so of course they don't learn anything. And the regulators don't learn anything, and then the public doesn't learn. It's just the same thing. It's like we're all aphasic, and we just keep doing the same things over and over again. In the meantime, but in terms of your question about, is this ever going to be a profitable thing? I mean, I think eventually, I guess,
okay.
but does GM want to be in the rideshare business? Does GM want to own, 500,000 of these cars and operate them and clean all the bodily fluids out of the back seats every night and also graffiti? These things like Oakland, if these things operate in Oakland, for one thing, 10 guys are going to jump out of their cars with cones and surround the car and strip all the equipment off of it, rob the passengers, and then leave them.
Well, there's potential of that.
There's going to be graffiti on these things, but who's gonna pay to operate and to purchase, operate, and maintain these fleets? I hold that eventually, that if Uber and Lyft want to incorporate autonomous vehicles into their business model, they're going to expect drivers like us to purchase them, and we'll be like people that own a vending machine business, where you own vending machines. And you spend your day, cleaning and repositioning and right. I think that's what's going to happen.
Elon was talking about a few years ago.
Mm-hmm. What do you? I mean, Uber doesn't own any cars. Lyft doesn't own any cars. Exactly. GM doesn't want to own cars, and you let the.
Well, that's what I was saying. Now the shoe's on the other foot, right? Now they got to spend billions and billions of dollars on these fleets that they never had the. So I'm saying here, I know you want me to ask you this question. I'm going to ask you too. If they couldn't make any money with a zero asset business model, how are they going to make money with billions of dollars worth of inventory in these expensive machines?
I don't know. They get the money first from the investors. They develop the technology, and they hope for the best. That's the Silicon Valley model. That's what Uber did and Lyft did, and that my position has always been that these companies can't be profitable. But I guess I'm wrong. But
well, for one quarter you were wrong, so we'll see what happens. But here's the deal: do you feel like these things have added to oversaturation or saturation problems up in San Francisco?
Oh yeah,
as far as they have.
I mean, not really, not yet.
Yeah.
But the market's oversaturated already. So
yeah.
The only reason the market's oversaturated is because of driver incentives and bonuses.
Yeah.
Because I know these people aren't driving down from Sacramento and Stockton and hundreds of miles away to sit in Fisherman's Wharf on a Wednesday night because they think they're going to get rich from taking a bunch of $4.36 trips. Yeah. The companies are dumping money to oversaturate the market. How are they going to make a profit doing that?
I don't know. Good question. I don't think it's going to be a profitable endeavor. I think they have other plans behind all this, which could become, human productivity, what they can sell you in an hour that you're in that car back and forth from work and things like that. But those are for another program. So more cars obviously means, less demand for existing rideshare drivers and taxi cab drivers, right? And if they put out like this, this Craig said 2,500 of them, that's a lot for a city of San Francisco, bro. I mean, I don't know how many cars there are, Uber and Lyft cars are up in San Francisco, but
sometimes as many as it's of course you never know because these companies aren't transparent. They don't tell anybody. But I know that when I was a taxi cab driver in 1995, the San Francisco taxi cab fleet was about 860 cars. Okay. Now there is something like 10, 20,000 Uber and Lyft cars operating in San Francisco, which is 7 miles by 7. And, most of them are probably in the upper left, in the upper right corner of the city.
Yeah.
So it's very, very saturated with cars right now. You dump another 2,500 cars in there. And here's the thing. What are these cars going to be doing when they don't have a passenger? Are they going to be circling? Are they going to be parked somewhere? Where are they going to be parked? Are they going to just drive at 3 miles an hour down the street? There was one video on Twitter.
Sit in the middle of the road. Just sit right there. Wait for the next
panic.
ride.
The cars, they should rename these cars Karens, because at the slightest difficulty, they turn their hazards on and call for help. Like,
well,
there's a man.
We're seeing all these videos on Twitter. They're just crazy funny, but they're also huge problems here, man.
Mm-hmm.
I saw one today. I don't know if you saw it. This thing almost ran over 2 moms and 2 kids crossing the street at a stop sign, literally.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, so lastly on this, and what do you think about the liability issues? It's like, if one of these things kills somebody, who's liable? Who you think they're going to get? There's no driver. The cruise is going to get sued? Is that what's going to happen?
It's weird, but I mean, look at that.
Are they driving around with commercial insurance? I don't even know. Does anybody know this stuff?
If there's no human driver in the car,
yeah,
then I guess the theory of liability is going to go to whoever's in charge of the car, like whatever person is in control. Like, if there's a person somewhere who can access a control panel and actually control the car, that person is going to be ultimately liable, like in a criminal sense. In a civil sense, like in terms of product liability, that can be split among the manufacturer of the equipment, among the company that makes the software, among the people that are making decisions about how it's programmed. I mean, it's going to get very, very muddled and weird and messy. And there was that case in LA with the Tesla driver who had his autopilot on, and he rammed another car and killed 2 people.
Yeah.
And he was charged with manslaughter.
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking like there's going to be a whole new industry with these things, as safe as they say they are. The other thing I have in my head is this. I have a proposal, Gabe.
Yeah.
Every time one of these, do you know how they commingle? They're like 10 of them get together somewhere and then fuck up.
Yeah, they like platoon. Right? Yeah.
Yeah. So
every
time that happens,
yeah,
$10,000 fine each occurrence and each car.
Okay.
$1 million right there.
Right there.
But the problem is that, have you been to San Francisco?
Yes. Oh, lately? No, not lately.
There's no traffic enforcement whatsoever. So I don't know who would be writing these fines. Maybe the PUC. I don't know. The PUC has no enforcement.
It's pretty obvious that if somebody videotaped it and put it on Twitter, there was a concert the other night up in San Francisco, and then they caused havoc. It's like they could.
Oh yeah, right outside lands. Yeah, it was a huge event. That that's one thing that that's an interesting point. The outside lands, and this is why I don't drive for those giant events. When you get these events, I don't know if you guys have tried to pick people up when there's like 250,000 or 500,000 people.
No,
and they're all using their cell phones at once.
Yeah,
not that much, but close.
Yeah, the cell phone networks can't handle it, and you can't get any cellular data, so your app doesn't work. You can't tap arrive. You can't accept trips. You can't call your passenger unless you see the passenger in some obvious spot. Like, you can't pick them up. So that's what was happening with those cruise cars. The cell networks got overloaded, and these cars can't drive around without
they just throw fits. They go like, I can't go.
they Karen and shut down. Yeah, they're like, help! There's a man. I don't know what he wants. Help me.
Yeah. I mean, we'll talk. We'll keep talking about these issues.
There's a coat on my head. What do I do?
There's a coat on my head.
that's the signature Karen knows.
Yeah.
Watch them build like these arms that come out of the side, pick up.
Oh,
the
like
car and throw that.
and like plucks the little cone off its
Yeah,
hood and
yeah.
drops it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the what do you call that? The robot that becomes a human. What is it? Not
The
the
Transformers?
Terminator.
Yeah,
Transformer. Yeah, it's like a transformer. Zoop,
Well-
get rid of the cone and then.
Oh, what if they give them the reasonable power? The U.S. Supreme Court has decided that a corporation is a person, so why not a cruise car? And then you can give that means it has the right to self-defense, and then that's when you put the
Run you
miniguns.
over.
Yeah, or 7.62 caliber miniguns mounted on the roof with laser rangefinders.
Here we go. Terminator is here, baby. It's like
Mhm.
that's the biggest
Yep.
bullshit I've ever seen. Gabe,
Yeah.
just because they
Well,
can build
hey,
it doesn't mean we need it.
Hey, you know what?
That's the
You know,
thing.
in all these movies like Terminator and stuff about the robot uprising and all that, you know, they don't tell what happens as the transitioning was happening. All they do is just show the the robot
Right.
uprising.
Right.
They don't show the drunk crack out woman who's riding the delivery robot like a freaking horse and saying, "Yeehaw!"
Right.
I mean,
That's what you didn't see. You didn't see. You didn't see Terminator 5 Florida, did you? Where that was
Anyway,
you missed that one. That was a good one. Yeah.
All right. So, and the next subject before we ship you out to your fatherly duties. Well, yeah, I mean, this is part of our funnies, bro. And I thought we should talk about this for at least a couple of minutes, okay? So there's a couple up in your.
Oh yeah, I told you, man. Cleaning fluids. Spilled fluids out of your back seats. Sorry if they're more sensitive audience members.
Have you read this article?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay. They're like doing this on purpose now. They're up to now count number 6 now that they're doing this, right? In the cars, getting it on in the cars. And people, they go by, they're just watching them having sex in the car. And I'm going like, now I get it that people are curious and they're, young people who are going to do some stupid shit like this. But then there must be laws that having sex in public, you get arrested, I guess. But then you're in a car. So I guess you're not in public.
Yeah. Well, it's all about expectation of privacy. But this is San Francisco where the San Francisco Police Code specifically defines nudity as exposing your perineum. So I'm guessing, I'm not kidding. You can look it up or don't. But there's not a lot of enforcement of anything in San Francisco. It's pretty.
So is that why San Francisco's a shithole now? Is that what's happening?
Well, I think you could make that argument. If you don't enforce laws, some laws have actual purposes.
Yeah, defund the police. There you go. So next page, this couple tells their story. This is like a 6-page article. And I'm going like, they're casually going, okay, even though about getting down and dirty in a robotaxi, okay, this is going to happen.
This is pretty spicy stuff for Show Me the Money Club.
Yeah, man, it's all right. This is our funny spot. For some, Megan, a woman in her 20s, took her first robotaxi ride, you know what I mean? On a recent late night excursion. It was also her first time having SEX in a driverless vehicle. So, and then there's this guy, supposedly, he looks like the RoboCop gigolo, his name is Alex, I think. He just, makes women happy. And then he just drives around in cruise cars and then women hop in and get their stuff off and then they go on. So this is going to happen, people. And the car that comes to pick you up next could be this car.
Well, the other thing is wait until the homeless guy opens up the door and then just takes a nice piss or shit right in the car.
Well,
and then says, all right, see ya.
What about the homeless guy? What about a junkie? What about a guy who shoots up some heroin in the back of the car and he passes out?
Yeah. Well, there in the
How are you going to get him out?
In the article, there are
the seat has a little thing that'll actually lift up and push you out.
Yeah, or an ejector seat.
Oh, I can't wait to hear about that.
Ejector
and
seat,
then there's going to be bloody needles in the floor.
If you got one more, Chris, there's laws actually about open containers, smoking pot in the car, all this shit, right? There are laws. No. So, obviously these things have cameras all over them, right? They're going to watch you. Big Brother is always watching, right? And so if a couple gets in and gets it on in the back seat of a Cruise or a Waymo, what is this car going to do? You think, Gabe? Is it going to go pull over to a hotel automatically, or is it...
No,
no,
Mr.
it's got little shades that'll go all the way around.
Yeah.
And then it'll play the music in the background.
Maybe if they're drinking out of a big orange cone, it'll stop. Hey, but I really gotta jet. I don't
Okay.
want to let my kid wait there. This was fun.
No.
All right,
But
Gabe,
you should. I mean, this is a hot topic. You should definitely talk about this on your
Oh
show.
yeah, no, we'll go into depth, please. And then can I plug our
Absolutely.
EV money?
Go ahead.
So that is going to be this coming Thursday, day after tomorrow. Me and Chris talking about everything EV rideshare related and relevant, and probably some other stuff too. So hope you join us.
E-robots.
Please come. Please check out the our Uber and Lyft EV driver. That sounded pretty good. Actually, yeah. There you go. Thank you.
Yeah. Have you been in one, by the way, yet? Have you taken a trip in one?
No.
Come on, man.
Here's the one. The ones that freak out in the middle of the road are called Karens. The ones that you piss and shit in are called Johns.
Oh man! All right. On that note, I'll see you on Thursday,
note,
Chris. Thanks a lot for having me on, Sergio. See you guys.
See you, man.
Oh man,
I'm crying. Okay.
Oh boy.
All right. We're all just lost control today, bro.
All right. Well, let's back it up a little bit. Let's go back. Yeah, we wanted to bring Gabe on when we talk about these AVs. Essentially, I'm against the AV push right now. And I think the only reason why it did get pushed forward was most of the people that showed up to the thing in San Francisco were workers of Cruise or Waymo. Just throwing that out there.
Yep.
Because I've heard so many people complaining about them, and just how bad it's been. So
they're gonna kill somebody soon, and then I'm not laughing.
Oh yeah, they are.
Yeah. So my email, Sergio@therideshareguy.com. My phone number, no. But Sergio@therideshareguy.com. Okay, thank you. So yeah.
Screen recorded the Tesla battery info for Uber. What?
Oh, you know what? I sent you that screen recording in Tony's car from Denver when it was fully autonomous. Yeah. We have to show that at some point, or we have to put a video like that or something on that.
We'll put a video for that.
Yeah,
we can make that out. Sergio's first time in a full driving self-driving Tesla.
Hey man, this thing needed a nudge all the time, man. He's just like, he didn't want to go. Tony was like, whatever. So I'm like, yeah, Tony, remember that? But all right. So what else we got left? We got.
All right. Well, let's talk about about a Chicago driver who turned the table on some potential carjackers. Pew 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 pew.
You betcha. Yeah, payback is a bitch. This guy was strapping, and he was legally carrying. He had a concealed carry license. These two knuckleheads tried to carjack the gentleman, and the gentleman opened fire. Hit one in the leg and the other one grazed in the arm, and the carjackers took off. I'm like, hell yeah.
Sounds like he needs some gun control there.
Well,
he needs to go out and go. He needs to actually go to the range a little bit. He needs a little control.
Yeah, if you can. Yeah, well, you know what? Shooting a human is not easy, bro.
No, it's not. It's not something that you want to do. But I mean, this is the unfortunate side of things. Like, if people are going to try doing something like this, you got to be protecting yourself in some way, however you see fit. Just make sure you do it the way you need to do it. And, if you do it, then you just got to take the knowledge that it could kick you off the platforms, because you're not supposed to be carrying according to Uber and Lyft, which is something I say, hey, if you're allowed to carry legally, you got to go through a larger background check than you do when it comes to driving rideshare. So you probably want somebody who can pass that type of background check on your platform.
What was that company that come into LA now? Actually, I heard the one that all drivers carry.
God,
Blackhawk. Blackhawk, was it Blackhawk?
No, I don't remember what it is now.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't remember. Interesting. You'll have to keep me posted on that.
Yeah, well, I saw a tweet about that they're coming here. So the 26-year-old driver had dropped off passenger about 1 a.m. And I don't know where South Millard is. So for Chicagoans, is it a good area, bad area? I'm not sure. Two people, a man 20 and an 18-year-old woman, walked up to him and announced a robbery. According to Chicago police, the male suspect took the victim's cell phone, then fired shots as the two robbers tried to flee the scene. The driver, who has a valid concealed carry license, returned fire, good for you, striking the man in the leg and grazing the woman in the arm. The man is in the hospital. The woman didn't go to the hospital. Well, you're going to go to jail, ma'am.
Mhm.
So yeah, but in this case, right, we always talk about safety. You have to, I mean, like, obviously we can't carry, we know that. But hey, you know, you're on your own. You got to have your head on a swivel. That's it.
Mhm. Yep, absolutely.
And I found this nugget, Chris, in my app. This is from my app, by the way. And I'm like, I read this twice and I was like, I don't know what this means. Maybe you'll help me with this. Our goal is to ensure that everyone has a safe and reliable ride. Okay. That's why Uber prohibits riders and their guests, as well as driver and delivery partners, from carrying firearms of any kind while using our app, asterisk. And the asterisk says, to the extent permitted by applicable law. Do you see what that means? Does that mean, like, if I
Well,
have a concealed carry, I can fucking carry? Is that what it means?
well, first off, one thing, your car is your personal property, so they can't dictate what you can do or can't do technically in your car.
Okay.
They can remove your access to the platform though, but they can't. Like it's not enforceable in any way when it comes to that. But then
Okay.
to the extent permitted by applicable law, yeah, that is something there because it's like, well, if you're legally allowed to carry, why couldn't you?
Yeah. Well,
I
this
mean, again,
asterisk
you're
kind of opened my eye. Like, if I have concealed carry permit, I'm fucking carrying. I don't give a shit. So I don't know. I mean, it's tough in LA, by the way, to get a concealed carry. It's almost impossible, really.
yeah.
Yeah. So,
And it
but
didn't change at all with the Supreme Court decision last year, October,
no, bro,
November,
no,
whatever it came out.
no, no.
Interesting.
Yeah, I have to have my gun in the front seat and my bullets in the trunk, even when I'm going to the firing range. And I'm going,
Boy.
what kind of bullshit is that, bro? Whatever. Anyway,
That, that's why the lightning storm was trying to get you out of there, going back for 4
I
times.
swear to God, yeah. So, so that is very true. Very true. Yeah.
Yep.
So that's why we recommend this. And lifesaver, bro.
Yep. Display ride dash camera. If you don't have a dash camera, you definitely need one. Again, we like the display ride for the fact that it has cloud service. So that means it uses LTE network to upload to the cloud immediately as it's recording. And so your monthly fee goes for all that, including the camera, making sure it goes up to the cloud, the storage on the cloud, all that good stuff. So it's not just, you're spending X amount of dollars per month trying to get it. No, it's because there's a lot of things going in the background that you may not know. So yes, and including that, if you're going to put in our viewer put in RSG20 for 20% off, bringing it to $20 a month instead of 25, which is going to save you $5. And it's something you can write off in taxes as a tax expense when it comes to a business expense.
Yep, $20, bro. It's nothing. Seriously, people. I'm serious. If you're driving,
Peace of mind is something you definitely need to have.
if you're driving 20 hours or more, or even not, I mean, just driving rideshare, you don't know what the next passenger is going to bring. I mean, what's $20 a month? Where do you not spend $20 a month? I don't know. I would
I don't know, but
definitely buy it.
$20 a month and $50 a month for investing, and you're
Yep.
good.
Yeah, whatever. I mean, safety, you can invest if you're not alive. So I'm going like, no, I mean, it's a must these days. Maybe 5-8 years ago I wouldn't have said it, but in these days, dash cams is a must for
Yeah, you
rideshare.
need it.
Must.
You definitely need it. And in fact, hey, maybe you'll get month 1 right now.
Free.
Maybe you'll
Or,
be able to get
yeah.
month 1 for free because you can get $25 a month. You just got to enter RSG20 and checkout with that, and you'll get it for $20 a month. So you have $5 left over, which you could
Yeah.
then invest, or you could just invest the 25. I don't know. It's up to you. But enter hashtag SMTMC into the chat now. We're going to be wrapping up in just a little bit, but we're going to do our last giveaway, which is hashtag SMTMC. And to our viewer, I forget who it was earlier. Again, it's just hashtag SMTMC, as it is what you see right underneath my mic.
Yep.
Same exact thing.
All right, people.
All right.
So this is Jeff. Norma. Hey, Jeff. He got the merch and he's wearing it. Looking good, Jeff. Looks really good, buddy. And then thank you for your support as always, always, always. So we thought we'd put him up, and he's going to be the one that reports back on InDrive. He's our he's our InDrive eyes and ears in Miami at the moment. And you know, we're going to be yeah, Sergio clone, yeah. We're going to be talking a lot about InDrive coming up. Honestly, Chris, I seriously did not know that Adam Warner was ex-Lyft for 5 years. So
I didn't
much
know that either.
because
But
I did not even talk to the guy.
Yeah,
I
but it
was
works out.
I was in the dark. His assistant was setting up all the stuff. I'm like, is this guy even going to show up? But he seems like a lovely man. Ex-Lyft, he knows what not to do. You know what I'm saying? And so yeah. So anyway, link is in the show notes. There's like really cool merch. Use Sergio in checkout to get an extra 15% off. There are many different designs or whatever. Not, I'm wearing one. He's wearing one. Gigpreneur one. Jeff's looking good. Now Jeff had a health scare about 3 months ago. We talked about it. He had a triple bypass. Was it quadruple or triple? I think it was triple. He went under the knife. I mean, he looks like $1 million. He lost 50 pounds. He's keeping it off. You know, look at him. He looks like a movie star. What the hell, Jeff? I mean, hello. Come on. Oh, 3. Okay, triple bypass. And he's doing really well. And he's back on the road driving and enjoying himself. And thank you, Jeff. Thank you for
Behind the InDrive.
That's right. That's damn right, bro.
You know,
Yes,
I had an idea. I don't think they should call them cruiser Waymos at this point. I think they should call them like red light robot or something like that. And
no, but this is definitely going to happen. You know what we should do, Chris? Like, if you can jump like to the last 2 screenshots of the ones that I sent you, there are like rules and regulations in this shit. They wrote it down already.
This one or the next
yeah,
one?
actual rules, right?
Here we
Actual
go.
rules riding robotaxi, right? And then there's rules for open container, right? When asked, both Cruise and Waymo sidestep commenting directly on what is not allowed in their cars. What does that mean? Answer the fucking question. Because Megan and Alex got in and got it on, right? It said Cruise or Waymo said, you know, Cruise and Waymo said. So on the next screenshot, you guys will see. Okay, can you drink and be driven? How about that? That's a good question. That's a damn good question. Open container is not allowed in California. Period. But now there's no driver. There's no driver, right? So Cruise and Waymo like to tour, like to tout that their cars will never drive drunk. Well, obviously, morons, there is no driver in there. A position Cruise in particular has plugged in its partnership with modern Mothers Against Drunk Driving. Okay, got it. But what about the passengers? The vehicle code is pretty clear on that front. Drivers and passengers are prohibited from drinking alcohol. Now, how many people do you think, Chris, are going to, you know, apply that law and not get in the back seat of a cruiser car with a red cup? Hell yeah, they're all going to do it.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah. You know, I mean, just look, man. Please, just because you can build it doesn't mean we need it. I think these things are a bigger pain in the ass. And you know what? This is a segue to my good friend Brian Merchant, LA Times. His book is coming out in September. Chris, it's called The Blood of the Machines. I swear to God, this book could not be more timely. It talks about, you know, in the old days, 50, 80 years ago, the machines started replacing textile workers, and then they're called Luddites, and they all, you know, had an uprising, right? Now we're having the same thing. Now we have these robots, you know, delivery boxes and AVs, right? replacing humans. So his book is very timely. We're going to have him on to talk about his book when it's out. And next week, plug Ali Kashani, the CEO and founder of Serve Robotics, is going to be our guest. Those are the little boxes that lady was doing a little bit of. And I think the Austin was the robot's name, and he's a very cool guy. You know, obviously very smart.
Austin is.
It was Austin. The car's the robot's name was Austin.
Yeah, he got a ride of his life.
Yeah, Austin definitely got a ride of his life. Yeah, so he's going to be our guest, and hopefully week after that, David Risher is going to be our guest. So what in August? We just retire after that. We're just done.
I don't know. I'm hoping though that that'll be on. So once we know if David's going to be on, then we will let you guys know. Let's do our drawing, and then we'll wrap up the show in just a few moments.
Yes, sir.
All right, let's
$25
get this screen share going.
Second 25. Here we go. Whoop.
And it's Vincent Schuller. Wait, wasn't that who was complaining? I didn't see my name in it. Wasn't that Vincent?
Was it?
I think so.
The fix is in.
Well, there you go. Congrats,
Jeff. Jeff, thank you, Jeff. The rising starts. You know what? He's damn right, bro. Rising star. That's damn right. Chris and Sergio, keep up the education series. It's virtually important to save. Yes, it is. Come to Florida. No license needed to carry. You know what? I'm taking you up on that. I swear to God.
Yeah, there's a lot of constitutional carry states. I think it's 27 states now.
Yeah,
it's at. So
I don't know, but I like it. You know, and thank you, Jeff, for your support as always. So we got 4 winners. One for the hat. John Agrau, our great friend in Chicago, for the T-shirt. We got Nick Hummer and Vincent Schuller for the $25 each. Please email me, Sergio@therideshareguy.com. Anybody else want to email me? Sergio@therideshareguy.com. Screenshots, you're my eyes and ears. Without you guys, we cannot do this week after week. So that's it. I think I'm done.
All right, cool. Well, we want to remind you, tomorrow it's Money Hungry with the kids, Kim and Zach. They got a good show for you guys every Wednesday, so make sure you check them out, especially if you're in food delivery, last mile delivery. That's more of the stuff that they're going to be covering when it comes down to their topics. And then Thursday, join myself and Gabe. We're going to be on with EV Money, doing some EV stuff, talking about EV. And I like to play the devil's advocate against some EVs, so I got to give him some run for his money there. But we'll be doing that on Thursday. So hopefully we'll see you guys over the next few days, and then we'll see you guys next week. And we'll have some fun with the robots.
Yes. Yeah. Well, that's going to be an interesting one. Yeah. So thank you, everybody. Thank you. Much love. Please be safe out there. Okay. Please be safe. So.
All right. Have a good night, everybody.